Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Master Race Debaters. It feels like I say that every single time. Anyway, this week, joining Be Black and myself is Sam Norton, very funny comedian from Chicago. He's been on the show before, but this week we're going to be talking about what scares white men. Like, what is the fear in white men? As well as, is the black perspective legitimate? And our white tear segment, we got Jerry Springer, white nationalist. It's going to be a good one. I know it is. I listened to it. I edited it. So here we go. I was reading this article, and well, you guys read it. Scientific American. You guys are basically talking about the stockpiling of weapons by white men, and how white men are a majority of people who've been stockpiling weapons. You guys read all that, right? Like you. Yeah,
I read it. I live it.
You live it. Well, yes. Sam's from Chicago, so.
Holy shit! You didn't tell me that. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't tell you that. I'm sorry. So they said that these men who are anxious about their ability to protect their families, they're insecure about their place in the job market, and beset by racial fears. These studies describe a population that is struggling to find a new story, one in which they are once again the heroes. Sam, you're an American white man. Do you feel like the hero of your story?
I'm the hero of everybody's life, but
there you go. This is why they're stockpiling guns. It's like, why am I not the hero of everyone's story?
I'm trying to be their cult leader.
I wonder how much guns were sold on like the premiere of Black Panther. There must have been a lot of guns sold. I just bought an American shield. I didn't buy any guns. Well, I find it funny that guns are being stockpiled and not capes. If you want to be a hero, everyone should be stockpiling capes. Poor white dudes. Honestly, poor white dudes. Because I feel bad for white dudes.
Because the whole time I was reading this, I was thinking of. At the beginning, I was thinking, fuck, these guys were given guns, and my ass was given religion. You know, I was pissed off. Like, I used to envy my dad's got a gun, but now I'm like, holy shit, your dad's got more than guns.
He's got issues. And apparently they're using the guns on themselves more than anything.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, so...
surprised me.
Well, the whole thing is like, as a white dude, especially like in North America, just there's statues dedicated to great whiteness, right? Like everything's a dedication to the amazing whiteness. Like there's tons of just tributes to that. And as a white person, like you turn on TV, right? You know what I mean? Like how are you supposed to compete with George Clooney? I got Forrest Whitaker. That's what I got to live up to. That's not hard.
But you got Michael B. Jordan, man.
Yeah, but I'm not like, but
made my pussy wet in Black Panther.
Yeah, but you guys look. You have fat, bald white men that you've put up as pedestal amazing people. There's no fat, bald black guys.
Wrong demographic, because back in the days they did have John Wayne. I mean,
even John Wayne, but even John Wayne is like he's the borderline of okay, he's kind of slubbish, but he's not. Because the way they portrayed him as, oh my God, look how he shoots those native people.
Right.
Sam, you're the white guy. You got to jump in on this.
Well, listen, I'm just letting you guys prove my point on this. Because the very last thing in that article you sent, I'm just going to quote it and say, like, I think this is the problem right here. It says ridicule of working class white people is not helpful.
I saw that part too.
That's the other.
You know what? I listen. I'm gonna sound like a goddamn white supremacist, like I always do when I talk to Gavin.
There you go. I have that effect on white people.
I 100% agree with that, dude. Like that. Like poor. Like there's like this class warfare where like rich white people are continually on top, so that way when minorities or even women talk about white men, they just go like, you guys are fucking doing great. And like that's those statues to like old great whiteness, like those are all the white people.
This is what you're missing. This is what you're missing. Poor white people aren't white people.
I know they're white trash.
No, they're not white people. You're identifying with the 1%. So it is a class situation. But white people, when you hear those people talk about white people, they're not talking about poor white people. They're waiting for poor white people to stop connecting to the 1% and go, oh, we're in this fucking bullshit. Like Fred Hampton. Like, you know why Fred Hampton was killed? Because he united poor white people, Hispanics, Native people, and black people going, hey, we're all fucked up in this.
Yeah.
Poor white people have but you're saying that women and ethnic people shouldn't be. It's not women and ethnic people. It's poor white people. It's poor white people have to stop identifying with the 1%.
Well, the reason
They're getting played. Are we agree with that? They're getting played. That's what
Exactly. But
you guys are preaching to the converted. I'm one of those poor white people that realize like that Martin Luther King thing of like, all right, I'm going to be a poor white person standing next to a Jewish dude.
Exactly.
And a black dude.
Yeah, but I'm not saying you. What I'm saying is what I find is like when you say, hey, don't pick on the working class. It's like, yeah, but there's black working class, there's a Hispanic working class, there's Native working class.
Hey, but that
there's a shitty, and they're being picked on too. Maybe not verbally, but they're being picked on by policy.
Nobody wants poor white people. That's the problem. Because like rich white people.
Wait
don't
a second. Hang on a second. You know redlining, right? You know what redlining is. Like okay, poor white people get treated like shit, maybe verbally, but in a class issue, there is classism. But poor black people get classism and racism. Like there's,
yeah, I know.
Our cities are policed more. We get arrested 3 times as likely as a poor white person.
No, but okay. The part I'm missing is okay. So, what's Sam saying though?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is that like with all right. So if you're a poor black guy, right, you get classism and you get racism.
Yeah.
However, you also from other black people. It's shit. Most of the time, if like the struggle is bad enough from anybody of color, you get the head nod. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, hey, we're in this together. Poor white people don't have that except with other poor white people because rich white people hate us because we were poor, and then other poor people hated us because we were white. We're in this like weird purgatory, which is like
you know why?
Wait, hold on. Look, I gotta give his point. Makes it a second. So it's funny how at the beginning you said Gavin brings out your inner white supremacy. I think Gavin's gonna bring out my inner Uncle Ruckus right now.
Well, I don't mind the team up. I don't mind that.
No. It's not a team up. It's not. I mean, I'm going to give credit to his point because I also had this one realization that growing up as a black dude, I've always felt a sense of security that if I were to be confronted by a skinhead, and there's black people in the area, they got my back. Whether they do have it or not, but I always felt a sense of security. And I was thinking of for white dudes. If like let's say they were to get jumped by a bunch of angry black dudes, but
wait a second. To your point, have you seen a Trump rally lately?
Oh no, I get that.
Angry poor white people shoving black people and punching black people in the face.
I am not denying that part, but I'm just but think about it, right?
They unite when they need to unite. Trust me, they will unite when they need to unite.
When they need to unite,
right?
But let's say you're I don't know, 8 Miles. Y'all seen 8 Miles?
Yeah.
That scene where B Rabbit gets jumped by.
You know what I love is your French puts an S at the end of it. You put 8 miles. It's 8 Mile. But
fucking fish, man.
I'm just joking. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Fuck y'all and the Queen. Anyway, yeah. So, but it's a bad example. Okay, I have to use this movie, right? So he's getting jumped by 8 Miles. Now, sure, he can retaliate by hooking up with some white supremacists or whatever, right? Or some fellow, like, if he didn't have any black friends, who does he have to turn to? A bunch of white supremacists. But if he's not on that ideology, that kind of thinking, he's on his own. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, and I agree with that, man.
No, but wait a second. So this is what I don't understand. So you're either black people that, okay, so a white dude, and let me get the thought straight. So a white dude had it like the 8 Mile situation. He has black friends to defend him, right? Is that what you're saying?
Right, for example.
But for him to have white people to get his back, he has to be racist?
For white people to have his back, I mean, if
to have the same, I got you. To have the what he's saying is like when you're like if you're a black dude and you get jumped by a bunch of fucking white dudes, if there's any black dudes around, not all the time, but the majority of the time, other black people are going to hop in because there's this sense of empathy and we got to stick together type thing. White people don't have that, and the only white people that seem to have that are like neo-Nazis and big fuckheads. And the problem is, if you are a poor white guy, you're not a neo-Nazi or a fuckhead, you then are a man without a nation. You don't have any of that community because you are looking to be a part of like other poor people, but then all they see is a neo-Nazi in you.
I like that. It doesn't make sense to me because what you're saying is white people are racist. Is that what you're saying? And then you're going, oh, well, because black people, we're just, fucking humanitarians. And so if we see a black guy getting jumped by a white guy, we assume it's some race, or we see a white guy, or we see a black guy being jumped by white people, we assume it's racism. And when a white guy joins with, gets help from white people, it has to be about racism. So you're saying is white people need racism to unite, and black people need racism to unite.
I'm saying in that identity, with white people, we don't.
But here's the problem: is that you're talking about race, and you can't take racism out of it. Do you see? Going back to our argument.
So I'm telling you, I guess I'm saying yes, the good side of racism.
But that's what I'm saying. It's both racism. As you see a black guy being jumped by white people, black guys are jumping in because they're going, oh fuck, it must be some racist shit. And you see a white guy being jumped by black people, white people are going to jump in because hey, it's some racist shit. You're saying it's the same thing on both sides.
Okay, in my high school, tell me if we're saying the same thing. In my high school, growing up, this is where I get that sense of security. In my high school, we were a lot of black dudes. We were a lot of, there was a lot of black kids at my high school. And anytime something racial would happen, you didn't fight one black dude, you fought all of us kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And we united over that one idea.
Tribalism.
Wow, you want tribalism on us?
But it is tribalism. It's like you identify. It's like a soccer game. It's like it's us versus. I don't know why you soccer. European. Soccer. It's like basketball. It's like baseball. It's teams. It's like your skin color is your jersey. That's basically what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, we became a team because of racism. We automatically became a team.
Exactly.
Now, if you fucked up, like if you, I don't know, got in a fight with a white dude that we all knew, and it was because of some parking space, you're on your own, whatever.
Yeah.
We fuck you, right? But
sometimes not.
But if that white dude made the mistake of dropping the N-bomb, wow.
Yeah, then it's over.
It was him against all of us. Now, for white people. Okay, I see what you're saying about the... Yeah, because
it's borderline anxiety and anger on both sides, right? Like you're waiting for someone to say that, like the word nigger. It shouldn't bother you. It shouldn't realistically bother you.
You're missing the point because, like, if the skin color is the jersey, the problem with white people is we're not all part of the same team. So, like,
neither is black people.
The same as me, like with the jersey, but like.
Hold
on, wait. Let me finish.
All right.
If there's 5 black dudes jumping one white dude, and I go, well, I don't want that guy just getting jumped, and I hop in to help him. What if I didn't hear him saying the N-word, and now I'm attached to the N-word when it's like, oh, I should have probably started beating the fuck. Like I'm on that guy's side.
So you're saying you're saying like white people get lumped into this racism thing?
Yes.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we get lumped into the criminal thing.
Okay.
So you got 5 black guys jumping one guy. We're thugs.
Don't say
who
that.
Who do you think is going to jail? If one guy's getting jumped by 5, hang on a second. Let me just say, if one guy's getting jumped by 5 black guys, who do you think is going to fucking jail?
Say that again?
Who's going to end up in jail or get murdered by police?
Repeat that.
If 5 black guys are jumping one or fighting one white guy, say the white guy did something horrible, he initiated it. Who do you think is going to go to jail? Who do you think might get shot by the police?
Oh, more likely
the black people, because this is the problem: is that we're fighting the same fucking thing. Here's what black people's problem with white people if I may be so bold to speak for an entire race, we're waiting for you to realize how horseshit it is. Like, it's all projection. You're projecting horseshit. It just go, you know what? There is a problem with the cops. Cops should not be shooting American citizens. We're waiting for you to see us as humans, and then we can fight what the real problem is. That's the frustration with fucking ethnic people and women, with white people. It's like, fucking just see us as humans.
Right.
And so we're all in the same fight. We're all in the same fight, but white men generally are too slow to realize, because you're caught into an identity that is, that shaped America or shaped North America. And then, like the article says, you need to be the hero of your story. It's like, fuck, stop trying to be the hero of your story. Just realize you're being used just like everybody else. Once white people realize that shit, oh my gosh, shit will change. But it's up to you. It's really not up to us. It's up to you.
Yeah. I got. All right. So I 100% agree with you, but this is a podcast, so I'm going to disagree with you.
No, that's okay. That's why I want you on. I love when you're on, Sam. I really do.
I'm the greatest person ever.
You're the greatest person ever. You're American, and you're awesome, and you're honest, and I like that.
Here's a real. All right, so we want to talk about empathy. This is a problem I've had with every person of color that has been my friend.
Oh my God!
No. Wait.
You know what? He gets black honesty. We got to take white honesty too.
No,
it's only fair.
Wait, use trigger words. Sorry. Keep going.
we got 3 minutes for this subject, but we can go over. But go ahead. This is good. This is good.
Make your.
All right, here's a real question. All right, so with, I agree that white people need to see people of color just as other human beings, because a lot of times you almost see, like, with racists, it seems like they treat people of color as, like, caricatures or, like, boogeymen, right?
Can I just step in a second? As empathy on for white people, I don't think it's their fault. I think they live in a system that has taught them that their opinions, ideas, thoughts, and lives are more important. And I think it's a subconscious thing.
Yeah,
I think we all do it. Yeah,
that's where I was going with this. Of, like, the thing is, like, when you're poor and white, it's so much like weird. So everybody on top has been rich white people, right?
Yeah.
So they look and a lot of times act exactly like you.
Yep.
And so if you're not successful,
and they appeal to you,
you're a piece of shit. Like, how dare you not be able to succeed? And you just get beaten down, and the whole time you're going like, no, but I want to be part of the big. I want to be rich. I want to be part. There's no like system holding, like, that people point to. Like, when I've noticed with we'll just say with my black friends, like black men, right? Mm. You have a tangible history of systematic warfare against you that you can point to. Now, is there a lot of empathy from white people? No, because it continues to happen. But you at least have a tangible thing of, like, yo, there's institutionalized racism happening. Fuck the police. Like, there's things that you can point to vent your frustration. Whereas poor white people, they only see, like, oh, and people then point out, like, oh, it's only your fault. When really there's a systematic oppression of just poor people. It doesn't matter what race you are, just poor people.
But it is their fault when they vote for people like Roy Moore, or when they vote for Trump, and they go, hey, because it's like they still think they're against us. No black person is treating white people as subhuman. White people do it all the time. They just, like, it's just like we get into arguments over Black Lives Matter, and it's like, well, come on, like Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. How dare you take a knee? It's like, what are you arguing about? Like,
yeah, well, I'm saying rich people treat poor people in general that way.
Yeah, that's classism, man, and that's
okay. Well,
but black people understand that. Black people understand that they're fucking. We get it. We're gonna get into this in the second segment, but yeah, we get it, and white people still think they're better. Look. I live in Hamilton, right? It's predominant. I call Hamilton white Baltimore. It is white, trashy people from fucking hell. The people who are less than me, and they treat me like, I get white people call me crackheads here. You know how many times I know, this is the running joke I have, is white dudes or white people here will make jokes about how black people don't take care of their deadbeat dads, and they're deadbeat dads. The dude telling me is a fucking deadbeat dad making jokes about how black people don't take care of their kids.
And that's what I was trying to point out is that's 100% because it's like trying to push somebody underwater just to try to stay above water.
But we don't do it.
We don't do what?
We don't push you underwater to get ahead.
Because we can't.
We can't. That's what I'm saying. It's like
okay.
You can't.
But if that option was available, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, we take it. But that's the thing is it's like okay, well, I don't understand how you want my sympathy for you pushing my head underwater. It's like, you're drowning me, but I understand your circumstances. Like it's just
the reason I think sympathy would work better is because if like you said, if everybody starts to understand that we're all drowning and nobody at the top is helping us, that's when the revolution actually happens.
Well, you need to go out and tell your white friends to do that.
So long story short, this week, this happened this week. In Montreal, a black kid went missing. His name is Ariel Jeffrey Kouakou. And now I remember that on my social network, I was getting a bunch of private messages or tags and say, share this picture. Like it was just amongst amongst black people, we were just telling each other, share this picture, missing child, Amber Alert going on and everything like that. Now, I didn't pay attention to it because, I constantly get pictures of missing child.
Jesus Christ. I know in context what you were saying, but that sounded like you're in a pedophile ring.
It did.
I should have polished that shit. I should have reworded that one. Okay.
Well, aren't you on the Tinder for missing children? Like you're just getting it all the time. Just missing kids are coming to you.
I united you two. All right.
I am just so sick of missing kid photos.
Yeah, they're not missing. They're in B's basement.
Oh, dude! Oh my God!
Yeah. Sorry, B, but you kind of.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me go.
But I'm sick of getting missing kids photos.
At some point, was an Amber Alert that went out for him.
Yeah.
And then the police decided to take it away, to stop it. Now, I'm not sure any context to why they removed the Amber Alert was done, but it sparked a few conversations about why that happened. And then so a mutual friend of ours noticed the Amber Alert was removed, and then he said, "Hey guys, take it upon yourself to share this picture. Let's find this child and everything, right?" And one girl commented, "Yeah, guys, again, we're on our own. Amber Alerts only work for white people. They don't work for us." And then from there, that girl got bombarded by white people saying, why would you say such an awful thing? Race does not have anything to that, does not matter or anything like that. Okay. But the point is, not the point, the reality is when it comes to missing child for a person of color, you don't have a lot of faith in the system simply because in the past, when it comes to dedicating their resources, they focus on the person that, that's, the most attractive, the most, the white kids.
Dude, never mind missing child. I once, I was at a dollar store and I was waiting in line to pay for something and a white woman walked up and the cashier went to the white woman before me. I don't have faith in them fucking dealing with me being first in a lineup at a cashier.
So I guess we're used on being on the losing side, and what bothers me is the white people taking offense to us.
Why don't you guys make a vision board? Why don't you think positively? Fucking, I love white people when they do that.
But it was driving me nuts that they were really, we're going out of our way to me. I'm like to be Captain Positive. I'm saying maybe this is the time they're gonna get it right. And what's interesting is there's a lot of news. I don't know about the police, but the community have come together to try to find this child. And there's a lot of in the English media, it's all focused on all the help they're getting throughout the community to make it happen. But on the But on the French side, okay, so that's one story. But on the French side, there's a story about how some white supremacist group were posting messages online about how, a bunch of racist messages like, yo, why are we wasting resource on this black, and I'm being polite here, I'm PCing myself, on this black.
Just let it out.
You know what I mean? Because it was all in French.
Oh, okay.
Just saying a bunch of ugly stuff like, wow, like the child's missing. I didn't think there was any way to make this situation any worse. These guys are just spewing out a bunch of racist shit about, attention getting.
It sounds like extreme trolling. Like it sounds like it's like, oh yeah. Oh, this is going to get us a lot of blah, blah, blahs.
Yeah. So now there's an article about it. Again, I'm only seeing it on the French media, but one, they realized that two people from You Look, the glasses store, got fired over it. And then they also realized that a lot of these posts were fake posts. Like they took the identity of, like they could have taken, like, Sam, your picture and posted the comments below. Now that's a fucked up thing to do in this time of day. But there's no they don't mention who created these fake posts, but they just said it happened that a few people's pictures were used with the caption of with all these racist comments about the kids. So it's fucked up, man.
White ingenuity, man.
Oh my God, yeah. Kid goes missing and didn't think it could be any worse. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, Sam.
Have you heard Patrice O'Neal's joke about that? By the way.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it's a good bit.
Let's be honest. How long you think that they gonna spend 5? Come on. Remember football players in Miami went missing? They went sailing. They looked for them for 8 minutes. Maybe. They just sent somebody at the edge of the beach. I don't see him. We have to call off the search because there's too much sun. The conditions are abnormally difficult. If I go sailing, I'm taking a white baby on a keychain with me. If my boat go down, they gonna find me. I'm gonna have it hooked right to the side of my belt. And I'm gonna dress the baby real white too. I'm gonna put sweatpants on it and a pair of Ugg boots, and I'm gonna take a picture. Look at this white baby. You don't come get me. This white baby going down with me.
Actually, a wet baby with me.
So Sam, you're new like this. I didn't know all the white supremacists were making this stuff up. This is a new topic for you. You didn't know anything about it.
No, I didn't know it either. But I mean, I'm not surprised that racist white people are lying. Say it isn't so.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, racist white. Like, what is it? Do they believe that there's a conspiracy against them, or they need to manufacture? Is that why they need to manufacture the conspiracy? Like, I don't understand why you have to. If racism against white, if there's a real white genocide, why do you need to manufacture it? Or you just want like a whole bunch of white people? Like you just want to hang out with some angry people? Really, is what it is, right? Is that what? Like I don't understand the purpose. I don't get the purpose of doing this.
To me, that sounds like Christians who oppose gay marriage, and if your God really has a problem with them, they're just not going to get to heaven. I'm sorry.
What's that disease that like old housewives and moms used to get to where, in order to get sympathy, they would pretend to be sick all the time.
Oh, or they do it to their Munchausen syndrome and then Munchausen by proxy. So Munchausen by proxy was when they make their kids sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys are using school word right now.
Yeah, so you think it? So this is interesting. I want to hear I want to hear your theory, Sam. This sounds interesting.
Well, like, and again, I'm just going off of people. I don't really know a lot of outed racists, but I've heard, like where I'm from, I've heard some racist shit, you know? And so I'm just trying to think back on those guys. And like, a lot of it seemed to me like that Munchausen or whatever syndrome of like projecting that they're the victim in order to get the sympathy they never got growing up.
Well, the statistics prove what you're saying, right? According to, I think it was CNN I read, or one of those, white people feel that they are actually, and this is America, not in Canada, but they feel that they are the actual victims of racism. So, yeah, and so Trump's victory was one of those, fucking right. Oh, thank Christ, I can let it out. I can let my hair down.
And where that comes from is that so if you have 100% of the pie, basically after the Civil War, you're like, people look at it as a zero-sum game. What makes me liberal is I go, well, we all deserve the same amount of pie, and so I don't mind giving somebody instead of overeating 100% of the pie, I don't mind giving somebody their fair slice of it. But if you look at the power of, I guess, white society in North America, it's steadily declining only because it's getting more fair and the pie is getting like divvied up.
Well, but this is what I think. I think it's not even fair because I don't think businesses are fair. I think it's, first of all, labor has changed. Jobs have been shipped away by, but and also you're looking at women and people of color, especially women of color, are going to university and colleges more than white men.
Yes,
and so
there's a thousand different things, but I'm saying like if you're susceptible to if you grow up poor and your dad beat you and you're just some white kid in the trailer park and shit, and you've had the world shit on you, but yet nobody like comes to you and goes like, oh, it's because of this. The first person that comes up to you and goes, you know what? It's because of the Jews. Okay, you're susceptible to going like, yeah, okay, it isn't my fault.
What if you're like an older white woman who's a teacher and has a podcast that talks about the Jews? like we're going to the extreme of the beaten trailer home dude, but what about I know people who share like fucking white supremacist, like extreme right supremacist ideas, and they don't think it is. They don't know that it's they're like I'm like, you're a hop, skip, and a jump from getting a fucking Hitler mustache at your local barber, but you don't think so. You have no idea. Like in the comment thread that B showed me, which I fucking dude, I had to jump into because it was so fucking asinine. One dude said, and we know him as a comic too. He said that it was the weirdest comment. He said to B, he said, some of us love you guys, meaning white people and black people, more than we love ourselves. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
What?
Just to pick okay, let me get the context. So when the girl responded how, this institution doesn't look out for us, Amber Alert doesn't work for black people.
Yeah.
The white guy jumped in and he explained why they took off the Amber Alert, but then he jumped in with, look, there's no conspiracy against black people. White people love you guys. Some of us like you more than ourselves. But that comment helped me understand the disconnect between black and white people. Like, he thinks our problem is that we're not feeling loved by white people, as opposed to realizing that we're in this system, I don't want to call it classes, like it's a race system that divided us. And they gave you more, like you benefit more from the system than we do. And to realize we don't feel like we're getting love from white people, it's because they don't see the fact that we're not benefiting from the system the same way they do. Like, that's where the lack of love.
Also, what's funny is that he identified, like, it was a police issue, and he identified whiteness with police.
His comment was also implying the fact that black people just look to feel like victims.
Which is also like you're blanketing all black people as like,
exactly, as opposed to realize that that victim, that sensation of victim actually came from being victim, being on the shit end of society you guys watched that Dirty Money documentary? I'm not going to give you a say. I'm saying
no, I haven't seen it.
Doesn't matter. But it made me realize that I feel like I relate more to the white dude who's getting his car repossessed than I do to the white guy who works in a bank that repossessed this car. Meaning, I can relate more to the white dude who's going to get shitted on by the system than I can than the white dude who's going to benefit from it. And some people might say, "Yo, that's like loser thinking. That's focusing." But what my history has just made me so used to, if someone's going to get shitted on, it's going to start with you and then him.
Yeah.
Dude, that's why I fucking love like old 90s like black movies and then like mafia movies.
Yeah.
Like I relate with that, like, oh, you start from shit and then you either make it or you just watch a friend die.
So you're like New Jack City. You're like in New Jack City.
Do the right thing.
Any Wesley Snipes thing that from the 90s. You're a Wesley Snipes 90s fan.
Yeah, Blade, all of that.
Yeah, all of it. White Man Can't Jump. Yeah.
Why do you say that? You guys read the Globe and Mail's story on the Ford families and their relation to drugs, their history with drugs?
No, I haven't. I know about it, but yeah.
So I read that shit the same way I would have read a rhyme by Jay-Z. Like, these guys were deep into the drug game. The only difference is that, for black people, it's they die, go to jail, or maybe write a rap song about it. For white people, it's maybe die, maybe go to jail, but, run for office and be the leader of a major party. I just thought that's kind of fucked up that, he's... Sorry, that was in anti-Doug Ford comment.
I find it quite humorous, that guy that was on that thread that we were talking about. I find it quite almost ironic, too, that he was going basically going like, why are you guys always trying to play the victim? And like, he's doing it himself. Like, I think that's a part of it, too, is like maybe white people who haven't like sacked up and just owned their own shit almost feel a little bit of jealousy of being able to have real harsh in your face oppression. Like I think poor white people kind of want the N-word thrown at them or like an equivalent.
I think a lot of people want to be. I think white people are there's a lot of white people who are dealing with some serious problems, dealing with serious issues, and they want some sympathy on some level. I completely get that. I completely this is my thing. But like what I find, like a guy like that jumping into the thread, or the woman that came in and said like pull yourself up with the bootstraps, which is physically impossible. They're trying to control the black narrative or black bodies or the black identity by saying, hey, shut the fuck up. And there was a time when, we'd all be that comment thread, all of us would be hanging from a tree. But there was a time when the entire comment thread would have been, hey, like, what the fuck did you say, black person? Anyway, do you think she was right to say, hey, we need our own thing? Is it like, because I'm trying to look at it from a perspective as a white person, like, hey, why are you trying to separate us? Why are you trying to?
It's more. Look, if the system, okay, we get it. Like we've made, I won't say made peace, but at this point in time, the system is not working for us. So we gotta look out for ourselves.
She was talking to black people. Like that was talking to a black person comment.
But like for me, like it's second nature. I'm used to like when they were circulating the pictures. Like I'm used to. Okay, guys, we gotta do something about the situation. We can't wait for the system to look out for us, and it's basically the whole all lives matter argument.
You're absolutely
Jesus.
You're absolutely right. I'm just wondering if like. And I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm wondering if there was like another way, like because basically what I'm trying to argue is should we have thought of white people's feelings when she said that? But I'm trying to figure out like maybe like I'm trying to just play devil's advocate. I don't know.
The funny thing is, I was thinking until that the black lady said, "Hey, we got to look out for ourselves." I wouldn't have thought about it. I wouldn't like in my mind is we're all equal. This is the time. Okay, maybe we fucked up. The system fucked us over in the past, but today they're gonna get it right. to date it's gonna work and shit, right?
Dude, so you are optimistic.
This is what I'm doing. It's like it's a normal thing. So, but when that black girl said, "Look, we got to look out for ourselves. The system doesn't look out for us," it was just all right. I forgot where I live. She's right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is she spoke truth. She spoke black truth.
Exactly.
What's true to black people, and then like, because I completely understand. It's black truth. And Sam, and when we say white people, I do this every. You understand what I'm saying? I don't mean white people,
I know.
But black truth. I
told you a long time ago. I don't have any white guilt. So
good.
Keep going.
You shouldn't. You should have zero white guilt, because when we talk about this, it's a frustration I have with white people. It's like when I speak black truth, why does it hurt you so much? Why does black truth hurt you so much? I don't understand. And that's what we're seeing in the thread is of you need to put. The woman basically said that the situation that black people deal with the systemic issues black people deal with are our fault. They're our fault that we created, and we need to take control of our own. And it's like, what does this have to do with connection to this thread?
But it's the same, like when you say like why do white people hate black truth? It's the same thing of like why guys hate woman truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the exact same thing.
This goes back to the first segment. It's really about a system they benefit from and not wanting to let it go.
Yeah. That's exactly.
Definitely. Hey, when you told Sam, hey, you know I'm not talking to all white people. So
it's knee gut. Knee jerk.
Okay, I had a realization. I don't word it that way. I said I had a realization. It's like for white people, they need to distance themselves from their whiteness, and by whiteness I mean the concept that I'm white. I'm a superior member of the human race.
Yeah.
And for black people, they need to get back to their blackness, but not superiority, but more I'm black.
It's a self-esteem issue. It's accepting your blackness as the norm, as normal, as a normal, not superior, but normal, everyday
being.
thing. Like, this is who I am. I can't apologize for this.
I'm black. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I'm a human being, even though I'm black.
Yeah.
White people is. I'm a human being.
Well, it's Black Lives Matter. We are human. We are human, just like you. That's all. It's not superiority. But white people look at it as pardon.
You guys are both wrong.
Whoa!
Tell us.
Shit, okay, bring it on.
Tell us.
The true answer is we all just need to fuck outside the race and make more beige Gavins out there.
That's what's going to happen. You know that's going to happen.
But the system still exists, though. The like we can fuck outside the system. That's interesting. Okay.
See?
Well, but
somebody's saying the Enlightenment now.
Eventually, everything's going to change. It's they'll find a new way to oppress us. And white people,
the darker Gavins get fucked over. The lighter Gavins.
No. What's going to happen is white people are going to get fucked over. The poor white people are going to get fucked over more and more and more. It's going to be the same shit. But, they'll figure out a way to keep poor white people in line and go, oh, fucking right, Mexicans are taking my job. You mean that Mexican robot that took your job? That Mexican robot. All right.
That's the one. I am truly racist towards robots.
Oh, you should
I'm going to be that old guy of like, no daughter of mine's going to fuck her.
But I love her. 0110. Hey, I hope you guys are enjoying this episode. If you are, do me a favor. Go to iTunes right now. Leave a comment. Leave a rating. It'll help us out so much. Hey, also, if you want to follow us on social media, that'd be great. You can follow us on Twitter at MRD Podcast, on Facebook at Master Race Debaters, and on Instagram at MRD Podcast. We're also on YouTube. If you had comments and suggestions or just want to drop us and say, hey, fuck you guys, you can email us at masterrdpodcast@gmail.com. Yes, we'll take your emails. We'll respond. Trust me. We got nothing better to do. Anyway, here we go. Without further ado, me and B Black getting back into it.
Can I tell you this? I am so uncomfortable having this conversation. And that's what this woman said before this, because I know what's in my heart. And I know that I don't think anyone is different, better, or worse based on the color of their skin. But I feel like there is nothing any of us can say right now without being judged.
Okay, so, we have some white trash. What I love about this article that we're talking about is that excuse me, the alt-right has been trying to move away from white trash. They've been trying to be like dapper. That you remember, I think it was The Atlantic that posted that article about the new dapper white nationalists. Just like, ooh, they're sexy. And so this is what I love about this article. You can't get away from your roots. So Heimbeck, he is notorious because Heimbeck, Vice did a documentary about a white campus, student group. He started a white campus student group at some college, and he was like, "Oh, I'm trying to protect white people from being raped," and white people were like, "We're fine." and then he's also, remember that black girl in the Trump rally that was being shoved around? Do you remember that video? Do you guys seen that video?
That was a while ago.
Yeah, so he's the guy shoving her in the "Make America Great Again" hat. Yeah, he's another dude. He's the dude with the beard, a younger guy with a "Make America Great Again" hat. He shoves her first.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm remembering, yeah.
So then, so what happened recently was him and his father-in-law. He's married to a girl, and his father-in-law. They live in a trailer park. I don't want to stereotype all white racist people, but they lived in a white nationalist. They live in a trailer park, and they start one of the largest white nationalist organizations. I forget what they were called, and it doesn't really matter. It's a white nationalist. It's probably fucking militia bullshit. And so what happened was he was sleeping with his mother-in-law, the Parrott. Parrott is the father-in-law. That's his last name. And is Parrott? Am I right on that, Sam?
Yeah. Parrot.
Yeah, and he was sleeping with his wife or his ex-wife or whatever. And no, it was his wife. And so he set him up. He set him up in a trailer, one of their own conjugal trailers, and he was spying on them having sex. And then so he confronted him, and Heimbeck choked out Parrott. And then Parrott ran to Walmart, called the cops. The cops came, and they were going to arrest him. And Heimbeck beat up his wife. Apparently, he pinched her cheek so hard that she bled. And now Parrott's like so disillusioned, he's left his white nationalist party. Could this not be more like they were trying to get away from this fucking we're white trash, and it's perfectly white trash. Like that is it is sad on so many levels. It is sad on so many fucking levels.
Hey man, I think they were set up, man. The CIA created that relationship.
Must have. They probably put a big jug of Kool-Aid on the counter, and then she was in some Nightmare Before Christmas Teddy. She was in a Nightmare Before Christmas Teddy. How could he help it? With Kool-Aid stains all over. No, sorry, Sam. I know. I know they're not your people.
But you apologizing to me, man. Dude, I seriously, so you know that like old hack joke that I've heard a lot of Muslim comics do of like anytime there's a terrorist attack, they watch the news and go like, "Oh, please don't let him be Muslim. Please don't let him be Muslim."
That's an old black joke.
Oh, is that a black? Whatever.
That's an old black joke. Yeah. Yeah.
I 100% over the last 2 years am now relating with that of like every shooting and every like dumb story like this. Like, don't let him look like my next door neighbor. Don't let him look like my next door neighbor.
Who's been carrying barrels of shit into his garage this whole time.
I just looked up a picture of Heimbach, and I'm like, this dude looks like every dude I went to high school with. Like, I'm just like, fuck.
Just big, dumb, nerdy fucking loser. Just a big, dumb, nerdy. White people are being, but white people.
Hey, you guys remember the shutdown that happened in Ottawa? The terrorist attack?
No.
In Ottawa, no one cares.
Oh, is that the one where the Civillo, Corporal Civillo got killed?
Exactly, yeah.
He's from Hamilton, so there's our connection. That's why we made this podcast.
No. So when the news came out, right, it was me, the black guy, white guy, and the Muslim dude all praying together, guy in our house, and go, please don't let it be us. Please don't let it be us. And the first thing, he was dark-skinned, like, fuck! So it was me and the Muslim, like, fuck! I'm like, please don't let him be black. He's like, please don't let him be Muslim. And whoever, and then, boom, turns out he was Muslim, so I get to play those people coming out. Jesus Christ. But yeah, man, I can relate to that.
So, man, that's a good drinking game.
I forgot to add that when they got arrested, everyone got arrested. They listed their occupation as white nationalists. How much does a white nationalist make? What does that pay? Like, what's the benefits on white nationalism? If it's good, I'd do it, because all you got to do is hate. I can hate. I know how to hate. I'll just change, like, how I hate how people park in front of my house and block driveway. I change that to, hey, black people, and it's pretty easy.
Man, it takes a lot to overdo. Like, I've never heard of something more useless as an occupation than stand-up comedy until right now.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't sound...
White nationalist?
And white nationalist, like, you're just, fuck. Why am I a comic when I could be a white nationalist?
Hey, Gavin, you never stopped to wonder, if you were white, the kind of white person you'd be?
Yeah, no, I never really thought.
He's right here talking right now.
Would you be a white nationalist? You think, like...
I just think about all the bank loans.
I would be surprised if I was the one who was like, motherfucking white nationalist, bitch. You know what I mean?
I just thought about all the bank loans I'd be taking out, just fucking all the credit cards I'd have, and no one questioning shit. Just
Gavin would be owning instead of renting right now.
Exactly. I'd be owning Mahoney. Have you seen that movie where the guy is a Canadian, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, where he's like a financial institution guy. He works at the bank and he's been gambling people's money. No one catches on. He's just a white dude. They're like, well, of course you're going to Vegas every fucking weekend to gamble people's money. That's what I'd be. I'd be that guy. I don't think I'd have enough time to hate. I think I'd be happy all the time. I like just imagine just having to deal with your own problems, like my own. That's all I got to deal with, my own personal problems. Fuck.
But there's a reason that you and I got along so well right away. You'd be an angry piece of shit no matter what color you were.
Probably, but I mean, I would. That anger seems even like I can deal with that one. Like I can do. Like I only need a psychiatrist. This one's like, fuck. I need a lawyer, and I need fucking Minister Farrakhan, and I need a whole bunch of shit.
Think your anger wouldn't be righteous. You'd just be an annoying white guy like me.
Yeah, good point. You valid. This is a valid point. You make a valid argument. I don't know if I would start an organization. The white people I know and the black people I know wouldn't fucking last 2 seconds. That would be me doing all the fucking work. Like it would be like, hey, let's start a white national. Fucking right, I hate them. We'd sit around every day, argue about how we hate black people, and then when it get down to, okay, we got to collect some money so we can pay off the website, it'd be, oh, dude, I'm broke. Sorry, man. I can't. It'd be me doing all the fucking the graphic design and then I'd hate white people. Then I'd end up hating white people. So I just like, fuck that.
Yeah, that's why we gotta get chicks in the organization.
Yeah,
they handle all the the fucking the logistics.
Logistics.
Drinking Patriot beer and
yeah, they're showing up with like photos. Wait. Do you like this white guy or do you like this white guy for the flyer? Which white guy? This one or this one?
I love that B in this conversation about white nationalists somehow was super sexist and be like, yeah, we need women to be secretaries in our white nationalist convention.
Yeah.
Why would
fuck out of here, man.
Why would we limit our oppression to just race? Why would we limit our oppression to just race? That doesn't make any sense. And then we get
that's how we fix racism. We get all the guys just to be super like misogynistic.
I would also have a handicapped person so I could park closer to the store. If I'm gonna hate, I'm gonna hate all the way. I'm hating 100%. Like race, able-bodied, handicapped people, everyone. I'm gonna do it all. I'm gonna check all the boxes. There might as well be.
That's what I'm getting at. Yo, on the Boondocks, Stinkmeister?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the white version of him, he's like a white nationalist. Fuck, he hates everything.
Who is it?
The white version of Stinkmeister is a white nationalist.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He got $4, I only got $2. Fuck him.
How many of these guys do you think are like living the type of life that this Heimbach lived? Of those,
probably a lot, man.
You think so? Like they're like because I also know a guy who was like a Proud Boy. He used to be a comic. They're always failed. He used to be a Proud Boy, and then he lived in his mom's 1-bedroom apartment with her. He slept on the couch, and I'm like, how can you be proud? Like,
dude, that's what I was earlier in the podcast. That's what I was trying to describe to you. It's like that. A lot of white people, poor white people, get not pushed, but they get into these like stupid groups because they're the only other people who give them fucking sympathy. Because you strive for like the white dream, which is being the rich white guy on fucking Capitol Hill, and then when you don't get it, everybody's going like, "You're a piece of shit," and then only people who have sympathy for you are these fucking dicktards who.
So why don't they pull themselves up by the bootstraps?
Because they're a bunch of fucking pussy snowflakes. That's why.
You know what it is too. It's hard. It's hard if your race is like you see your race as superior to accept your mediocrity.
Exactly. These are pussy ass white guys.
But it's not just that. Like Justin Timberlake is mediocrity from fucking hell, and look how they push the shit out of him. Like Justin Timberlake, he's mediocrity from fucking hell. You could be mediocre as a white person, and people push you and go, "Oh, fuck, that's fucking great shit."
Okay. So, but I guess
Timberlake got the
winning lottery.
Pardon?
He won the lottery.
Oh, of course, because he had the right. Like Justin Timberlake, you can tell came from like fucking. A family that was like, oh, we're going to dance lessons and we can invest. You can take off. You know what I mean? Like he didn't come from poor. Justin Timberlake didn't come from poor. He was a Disney kid and shit like that. Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm saying when you're a mediocre person, you come from no means.
Oh my god, that is the worst.
But my biggest problem with these motherfuckers is like they give me a bad name because it's like I have everything in common, like that Heimbach douchebag or whatever. I have every fucking thing in common with him, and he's too much of a pussy to pull himself up by his bootstraps. So he starts blaming everybody else. It's like, go fuck yourself. Like,
it's easiger, right? To go, hey, it's easier to start an organization against a creed.
But he has the gall to be like, oh, it's everybody, and everybody else is not a superior. I'm like, motherfucker, you're trash just like I was, except I didn't fucking blame anybody. You fucking dicktard.
Well, the dude
now I'm getting angry.
The dude that started the Charlottesville march, he didn't get a job. This is what happened. I was listening to an interview with this guy. He started the Charlottesville march because he applied for a job that he felt and they offered him a job, but it wasn't the hours he wanted. It was like less hours, and they gave the job to a black woman. So clearly it's white genocide. Clearly it's an entire race issue. Not you. Maybe someone's more qualified. He was like, "Oh no, she wasn't more." How do you know she wasn't more qualified? Because she's black. Come on, what the fuck? Like
the same anger that bubbles inside of me when I hear that shit is the same anger when I hear like dude comics go like, "Man, comedy doesn't get you any chicks." I'm like, comedy has only ever gotten me pussy. You're just not funny, you dumb piece of shit.
Or the same like it's like people don't like edgy stuff. And it's like, no, they don't like you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, fuck you.
Fucking, this crowd doesn't like edgy stuff. No, it's you. It's 90% you.
Yeah. Fucking PC culture. Nah, dude, you suck.
Yeah, I know, you just suck. Yeah, and you ever notice like the right wing comics who complain about PC culture, like Steven Crowder and shit like that? Steven Crowder wanted to be a stand-up comic, but he fucking sucks. Like Milo Yiannopoulos, if you put Milo in the right category that he's supposed to be in, like stand-up comedy, because you don't take what he says seriously, he's shitty as shit. All they say is like stuff that triggers people who can't handle that. But really, when you look, if it doesn't bother you, it's like what are you, 8? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
You
know who's really good at stand-up comedy? Fucking Trump. He's actually
pretty funny.
I agree.
He's actually quite hilarious if he wasn't such a monster.
I think that's what he wants to do.
Yeah,
I think
Trump,
so too.
Hey man, I think Trump is a comedian who just took himself too seriously.
Yeah.
I think what happened is he fell. I think what happened, he didn't think he was going to get elected. He got elected, and now it's like, okay. But I agree with you. I agree. He's just like, hey, I'm fucking, look at me. I think to him, he's still in show business.
Yeah.
He's still in show business.
Kind of is. He's proving it.
Yeah, he's... And he's just, trolling people and but then, then dumb shit comes out. Like, they're like, how can you call them shithole countries? Of course he called them shithole countries, because that's how he talks.
A wall. We're gonna build this wall.
We're gonna build a wall. You just imagine voting for that. Like, when I heard that, I'm like, oh, there's no way he's getting elected, because that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Fucking, there's no way.
Go back to that time when we innocently thought there's no way.
That's a fucking Roadrunner cartoon. You build a wall when you're fucking in Acme building wall to stop the fucking Roadrunner from getting through. Let's build a wall. Let's put guns. Let's give every teacher guns. Like, oh no, there's no way that people. Oh, they're taking that seriously. That's a serious option.
I had a radio show in Chicago during the election. So somewhere on the internet is my thought on that, and I feel so fucking bad because I was like, "There's no way." I made like $100 bet with somebody of like on air that he's like just trying to sell a book. And then he won, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, you lose hope in humanity when you're like, no, but you know they can't build a wall, right? Like, you do. We're going to build a really high wall. But what about ladders? Yeah, we'll deal with ladders. Ladders are a big problem. It's all ridiculous. It's all ridiculous. A wall.
Newsroom.
And then people
Newsroom made a fun of that part. You know what I mean?
What?
Newsroom. The HBO had a show called The Newsroom.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was show me a man who builds me a 13-foot wall, and I'll show you a man who will build a 14-foot ladder, some shit like that. Right?
Yeah.
And the guy responded, the redneck guy, that would just build a bigger wall. He didn't understand the analogy of why the wall can't work. But yeah.
It's just that like if I was a blue collar worker, I worked in the Rust Belt and my jobs weren't coming back, and he promised. This is why you talked about Doug Ford. He's playing up on that. He's promising everything. I don't know if people will buy into it because we already had what that was. But if I lived in the Rust Belt and I was like, manufacturing, my job was taken away, and I heard all this shit, I would think he's a con man. I would automatically. I'm like, you're promising too much. You're promising way too much.
It's because you got street smarts. A lot of people don't fucking have that.
I guess not. And I guess if you only have two options too, and you only have two options, and one of the options has been fucking you over for a long time, you might as well vote for this motherfucker.
But you fucking you tried it. I don't know. Whatever.
No, I like.
By the way, with the wall, that Trump shit, like. How has nobody thought to solve the gun problem and the border wall problem and this like white identity problem all at the same time by saying you can't own a gun unless you're part of a well-regulated militia, and then the militia is the ones who are border guards, and then you get to also feel like a hero.
Oh, Sam, I thought you were going to say get a giant magnet to suck all the guns out of the criminals. What if we why don't we put a magnet on the moon?
Hero.
Didn't he say something about making moon military this week?
Space Force. Yeah.
He's the best. He is the best. Yeah. So like, if we get in Space Force, they can put the magnet. Sam, I got a better idea. Your idea sounds like logic. I put the magnet. I'm gonna go for giant magnet on the moon. Space Force goes up there. We're calling them Space Force. That's their name. Space Force goes up there, puts a giant magnet, sucks all the guns out, and then we keep the guns.
From space.
Yeah.
From space. Oh my God! I didn't even think about that. Yes.
But it'll be a special magnet that doesn't suck the teachers' guns out because if you don't have guns in schools,
magnet.
Yes, it doesn't. The teachers got to be able to keep their guns. Cops got to be able to keep.
Well, because if you don't have guns in a place, people will, like. I don't have guns in my basement right now. I'm going to get shot at any moment. It attracts people with guns. If you don't have guns, they're like, oh, Spidey sense are tingling. There's a place with no guns. Let's go. It's all logic. He's entertaining. I got to tell you that, man. Your president. Well, it's not your president anymore. He's very entertaining. You might get someone in the Ontario election that might be just as entertaining. So, all right, guys. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording.